So first, Instagram Live from Coordination Station.
Good for you.
So
for us.
We'll just wait another minute or two till everybody's here. But when people are joining, just give them an overview of kind of why we started it. Because I think really it started with you putting a group of coaches together, and then do you want to explain why you did that, and then I'll explain a bit of my idea behind it as well.
My idea of bringing coaches together. My first thought was, okay, let's try to do something with other coaches that work in different sections of tennis, in coordination stuff, physical preparation, or either coaches that work on the court. Get some ideas and try to do something together and take ideas from each coach and try to get something like a manual of exercises or drills or a common idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it kind of, originally Martin set up the group of coaches. There's about 8 of us on there that some of us presented in Basel together in the kids event last year, which is amazing, a couple of other people. And then my idea was, like Martin said, let's have a platform for all these activities, you know, really trying to unite everybody around the world. And I think that's what has happened, really. You know, it's great. We've got different countries that we're posting from, and it will continue to grow, hopefully, when we're all out of lockdown. So here we go. So that is the method behind the madness, and hopefully we'll introduce you guys to everybody else that's involved as well, because there's other people behind the scenes too.
Yeah, we have a good team.
What's that, Martin?
We have a great team.
We have a great team, and the great thing about it, everybody inputs, and I think that's the thing. Like, you know, Martin brought the people together, I had the branding, and then we went, and it's gone. So yeah, hope you guys are all enjoying it so far. But our topic today is kind of creativity after COVID. I spoke to Martin about kind of, you know, discussion topics. There's been a lot of content thrown out there. There's a lot of challenges online, but there's not been a lot of talk about actually how are we going to adapt our sessions after COVID. There's been talk about how the courts are going to be open again, how many players on the court, but what do you think the challenges are, Martin, for junior players to start with? Well,
it depends both the type of sessions that we do. If mini tennis that we usually have more kids on the court.
Yeah.
Or let's say competition or recreational that we have probably 3, 4, or 6 players on the court. They're older, and it's easier for them to be separated and do what we need. In terms of kids, it's much more complicated.
Yeah.
They might not understand the rules and the danger of being close to each other. But I think the challenge is now how we set up the sessions. Yeah. In my opinion, we need to work on stations, assign each kid certain exercise to do that they can do it by themselves to develop some skills, but we're going to have to be creative.
Yeah, I think so. And I think we talked a little bit about almost the focus from technical to more tactical, because controlling the space, they're going to be in a set space realistically, you know, with 1 or 2 balls trading back and forward. So it's going to be almost just thinking a little bit more tactically as a coach rather than just technical. So what's your thoughts on that? Do you think it'll benefit the game, or do you think it's going to be a change of mentality?
I think indirectly it's going to benefit the game, because if we can do the typical session of feeding balls and having the kids picking up balls, if the balls get in touch with all the kids, that could be dangerous apparently. I think we're going to have to push the kids to rally more.
Yeah, whether it's throwing the ball back and forward, right?
Yeah, exchange shots instead of, you know, just hitting, you know, the typical the mentality that we have to teach some shots before we get the kids, you know, playing. Yeah. So probably that's going to help the kids to enjoy the game more.
I think so, and almost, you know, it's a game. It's like a two-way game rather than, okay, someone does an amazing shot and wins, and you know who's got the best forehand, who's got the best backhand. It's more of a trading game now, isn't it? Which makes it more fun for everybody, effectively.
It's learning through the game.
Yeah.
It's playing the game.
I mean, I'm sure you've got a lot of experience with this as well, but you know, going around the world the last few years, it's, you know, every court, you see the odd coach with a line of kids. I mean, before, you know, some coaches were like, oh God, it's still happening, the lines of kids. But I think now, you know, with the social distancing, that there's no way that's going to happen, which I think is amazing for tennis, to be honest.
No way we can do this now. I think, fortunately, and I'm very optimistic about this, but fortunately, we're not seeing that, you know, the lines and the cues all that often now. I think probably social media is helping a lot by, you know, because every coach now has information in a minute. You open your phone, you go to Instagram, you go to Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, and then you see lots of drills. And they're not, you don't see people posting videos of kids in a line. You don't see that now. No. If you post it, you're going to get cremated. So
exactly,
so you better don't
do
it.
With the people on
you
there.
better don't do it. But if, you know, see more creativeness on the courts, and the sessions are different than before. So we are learning from that.
Yeah, I think
we're
so.
Learning. That's the idea of Coordination Station 2.
Yeah, and I think the idea is, you know, we've got this platform now, Coordination Station. It'd be great for coaches, and what I'm going to do as well is almost just think of, like, not even the health and safety of the court, but actually how am I going to redesign my sessions when I'm going back out? Because I think that, you know, we'll almost worry too much about court safety, but actually, you know, how do we sell the product, which will be a new product to kids, you know, effectively?
Yeah, eventually I think this is going to help us to rethink what we were doing before. Yeah. And we're going to be forced to do something different because of the distancing. So I think it's time for us. We're in the last few weeks of this lockdown. Yeah. Apparently, in some countries like Italy and Germany, they're opening next week. In some places here in Spain, I heard that they might open some, especially academies for professional players, because there are not too many of them. But we're in the last few weeks of this, so this is the time for us to, okay, let's plan something that we can actually get on the court and have the kids in different sections of the court, but doing something productive. So
we had a really good question come in from Top Skin Monkeys, Andy Load. So he's asked a question about the white and the blue level, and like doing the tennis with parents. How do you think that will change for the future when we're out of COVID? The parent and child session, effectively.
Well, I think we have to set up the sessions in terms of not exchanging balls, or if you're using, let's say, if you're using a paddle or if you're using a cone to catch a ball, they're not going to have to exchange that. Probably name it, put the name of the kids on it, with a tag, something, and then wash it. Yeah. But I think we have ways of doing this. Yeah. We have the possibility of doing this.
I think that'll be a bit easier to do as well, because you've got the parents with the children. So actually, like, the children will be able to respond to the parent a little bit better as well about the regulation. So I think that'll be okay. I don't think there'll be much change of, you know, contact. Actually, having parents on the court might be more helpful, even for the slightly older age range. I think it'd be pretty good to have. So the next kind of subtopic about the kids' tennis is we talked a lot about team sports, how kind of in this year, you know, football, loads of different sports, so maybe going to be a little bit apprehensive for parents to join in, and how that will affect tennis. Is it an opportunity for us, or, you know, how do we make the best of the situation effectively? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, just think about football teams or basketball teams. There are a bunch of players that they have to share locker rooms and stuff. That's going to be tricky. Yep. So in terms of that, probably this is a moment for us to, you know, catch their attention and say, listen, in the meantime, you can practice tennis with us. There's more distance. Obviously, there's one thing that a lot of people are talking about, the distance between players. Yes. On a tennis court. Yeah. The problem is that probably you have 2 players on the court, and you don't have 20 players. You're not going to benefit a lot of people. But if you know how to use that in terms of taking advantage of the situation,
Yeah.
We set up some groups, stations, especially for the mini tennis kids. We set up stations, and we have the kids in different sections of the court, parts of the court. Probably can set up something that is going to be useful.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking of a coaching point of view as well. From, you know, maybe basketball and football coaches, it's not going to happen this year as much. Maybe they're going to have to wait a lot longer than us. We're fortunate we can carry on, but maybe upskilling football coaches to become into tennis more. You know, because they can bring so much to tennis in terms of coordination, games. You know, they work in the space, almost attracting, you know, a different level of, you know, tennis coach coming in that's maybe not a tennis player growing up. It's somebody that comes into tennis, which, you know, we do have a lot of people in the sport that do that. Like, I think that'd be a positive move.
Yeah, we have to be alert. We have to be alert now. Number one, try to rethink about what we've been doing in the past and what we have to do now because of the situation.
Yep.
And probably try to use this opportunity to rethink that, okay, maybe what I was doing, it wasn't catching much of the attention of other kids because my product wasn't that funny, or it wasn't that productive for the kids, or something. So we have to face the future like a good challenge and say, probably we rebuild our program. I rebuild the way I plan the sessions, and I make it more interactive, more dynamic. It's going to be a benefit for us.
And I think almost, you know, selling the benefit to existing football teams of tennis, you know, the great coordination skills that they can bring, which makes them feel empowered anyway if they want to join, but also the benefit for different coordination skills, you know, the hand-eye rather than the foot. So almost becoming the all-round player rather than just a tennis player or a football player. Because we know the best in the world, really, they played multiple sports growing up. So if we can get more football or different, you know, sports in, I think it'd only benefit tennis.
You know what happens with, for example, the American players? They one of the main things that you think about American players is that they serve very well, because they usually do sports like football or baseball when they throw a lot of stuff. You think about South American players, you think about Spanish players. They're good footwork, the speed on the court, the way they move. Because you know, football is such a religious thing in our cultures that
even in the UK, believe me, with Arsenal.
Obviously. So you know, we use the legs a lot, not just like American kids. I've been in New York for 5 years, and I know that their handling skills are much better than footwork.
I mean, I think it's a huge market. I think that, you know, football, you can't really play football unless you cluster effectively as children. They want to cluster the ball, which is, it's going to be tough for football to get back until it's all released. So I think, you know, if we can, I know that coaches are looking at different ways to market their clubs and businesses, looking into schools, but maybe, you know, looking to upskill themselves and maybe do a FA level 1 and get in the football world a bit more to bring the tennis into that. So I think that'd be a good way to just think out the box a little bit. There we go.
Definitely this is a good challenge for us.
I think so. And I mean, our next kind of topic was moving on to adults a little bit. So, I mean, we've talked about kids and the changing landscape, and I think it can only benefit, you know, the stuff that you do, the stuff that Ruben's doing, you know, LTA have got a youth program out there. There's a lot of stuff out there, but I think now is just a platform to push it in sooner. You know, I think now the old school method of coaching can't, like we say, happen with the social distancing and the lines and the drills, the picking up balls. It's going to be hard. So what do you think about adult practice, group and individual, how it will affect?
Individual coaching, I don't think it's going to be a big effect. There's no problem for that. As long as you, especially when you're teaching other kids or adults, it's easy for everyone to follow the rules. When you teach little kids, you know, sometimes they're rushing things, and then they want to do something very explosively, and then they don't think about the procedures that they have to follow, obviously. But in terms of individual coaching, I don't think there's a problem at all.
I think what I mentioned to you about the only thing that probably will change is obviously closed drills. There won't be as much because coaches might not necessarily want to go and pick up the ball. So there'll be a lot more trading, a lot more rallying. So I guess coaches have to think of that in their day rather than doing 7 or 8 hours a day. You know, if you are hitting for that long, it's going to, you know, going to affect fitness levels and tiredness. So I think it's got to be a consideration, because it will be a lot more tactical play, working in zones, working in spaces.
Yeah, but definitely. But it's obviously the benefit, the players are going to be benefited because of that, because I think they're going to hit more balls instead of just hitting.
Yeah.
They're going to feel like they're going to be playing now if we do that. We rally more and we exchange. I don't know. We can say at the volley, for example, we don't have to move that much. We're not going to get tired of volleying, but you know, the player's going to be feeling, okay, I'm playing much more than just hitting balls that the coach is feeding me. So in terms of that, it's going to be a benefit for the players.
Well, I think that the level of connection as well, because I think a lot of tennis coaching sessions sometimes come across as dictational. You know, is it okay? You need to do this. This is the best way to do that. But suddenly, when it's a two-way process, it's relative, isn't it? It's like, oh, you're in it with me, but maybe you've practiced more because you're a coach, obviously. But I think that level of connection will be increased now, and you know, I think players will leave a little bit more feeling accomplished, rather than before thinking, oh, I wish my forehand was just a little bit better that way. And you know, rather than playing the game, like you said, the game-based learning and game-based practice is going to just increase now. So.
And that's going to be better for the players. It's going to be a benefit for them, because they're going to feel, okay, now I feel like I can play. It's not just hitting balls from feet.
Yeah, no, definitely. What about group practice then? So you talked about individual, we said it's not going to be affected too much. Group practice for adults, what do you think it's going to affect much, or?
No, in terms of adults, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty similar setup, to be honest, wasn't it?
Same thing. I mean, more hitting. I mean, more rallying than just getting a feed and just hitting shots like a robot. Just if we do that, the player is going to feel, you know, it's actually playing the game. It's not getting instructions. And you know, if we have 3, 4, if you have 3, the coach gets involved in the rallying. It's easy to solve it, but the format of the session should be much more playing time than instructional time. But I don't think it's going to be a problem for you.
That's a good session then, really, isn't it? That's the thing. I think let's throw it out to the coaches. What do they think, whoever's watching now, what's the biggest challenges for kids tennis? Because that's obviously our main focus with coordination station, is the fundamentals. What's the biggest challenge that you think you'll come across when we get back on court? Could be perception from parents, you know, kind of trying to nurture the caring side more as a coach, which maybe we're not too used to doing. So I think it'd be good to think of a few questions. What do you think, Martin?
Obviously, when you think about the sessions, you say, okay, but I can manage to do stations and have everyone separated, you know, but we have to go to the actual thing that's going to happen. All the kids coming together, and then they're going to say hi. If they don't see each other for a long time, they're going to try to say hi and high fives and hugs, and you're going to have to prevent that. Same the coaches. I'm the one who's always high-fiving kids or you know, giving them a hug, and then I'm going to have to stop doing that. It's going to be hard for me. Now I'm an adult. I have to think about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost going to be a different way of teaching. I know you've been doing some Zoom sessions. I've done a few. I'm sure loads of people that our coaches have been doing it. And I found with Zoom, the interesting part is you're given instruction, but you don't get the feedback back. Well, you do in a different way, especially group Zooms. So, you know, you're giving all this information, you're giving energy, but really, like you say, a high five is a two-way process. You know, it connects you and the child. How do we differentiate and still have that two-way connection? So I think it's going to be, I don't know the answer. I think of like elbow high fives, anything, you know, it's just going to be very different.
No, just hitting rackets, knocking the rackets, you know, just to say hi. But that's going to be kind of tricky or weird in the beginning. But especially South Americans, that we used to be much more intense of saying hi, and you hug everyone, you kiss everyone, and then you have to stop that, obviously. But
we just had a good comment there, a foot high five. I like that. That's from Tiny Tots in
that's good.
That's good.
A foot five.
Solution done. There we go. High fives.
Probably. It's going to be weird too. Hope everyone keeps the balance and no one trips. But I think this is a good challenge that we have ahead of us, and we have to think we have to see the way we can handle it.
Yeah. So we got a question now. Will ratios need to change across the board? Thoughts on that?
Let me tell you, the thing is, we can say something, but especially, for example, in a club that I work, even mini tennis sessions, except for one that I handled, we have 30 kids on one court in 6 different stations.
Yeah.
In some clubs, for example, in Madrid, they have the clubs used to have lots of kids, lots of kids. So you probably have 10, 12 kids in a session.
Yeah.
Even though if you're under 12, you have 8 kids or 10 kids, because it's the way they do it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to, cut the ratio pretty much in every group in your program. It's not only the mini
whole court. I mean, there's been some good examples. I've seen a couple of things that Howard Green's done about using the whole courts, not just the tennis court for actual, the fitness, the movement, using, the perimeter. So suddenly, if you have got 8 children, you've got way more space now. So every
square inch now counts.
Yeah.
So we have to use that, and we have to see. I've been telling my friends that in the way I work with little kids, that they use only one ball. You saw that in Basel.
Yeah.
That they don't exchange that much.
Yeah.
If they have to exchange something, the rally, they don't make contact with their hands. So it's kind of weird. We're talking about this, but this is what we have to deal with now. Yeah. But if we find a way to have the kids working with their own equipment, I don't know, a racket, a cone, a paddle, or a racket, or one ball, each.
And they have their
way to do it.
They put their things in the hoop, right? Simple. Keep it in a space, and that's their space. Almost like when you go to school, this is your locker. This is your tennis locker. You just use this part of the court. This is yours for the session.
Right.
So I think that would probably work. And I guess the way that your mini players work, it's loads of stations and rotations, which I guess if that's just expanded a bit, doesn't really matter on ratio, because it's enough space that they're not going to be in close proximity.
Right.
I think it probably could still work. What do you think?
Yeah, probably set up the tracks that I set up on the courts or stations, and have them, instead of, my kids are rotating all the time. Instead of having them rotating to what they can get close to each other, having them rotating by time. So you take 2 minutes working on these skills, 2 minutes bouncing the ball, 2 minutes trying to hit the ball back from the wall, anything. It depends on, obviously, in the situation, the place where you're working. If you have fences, if you have walls on the sides, you have to use whatever you have in your hands right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think every club and tennis site will be very different in how they deal with it. Will be very similar in obviously the court protocol, but depending on the makeup of the kids, the sessions, the different external influences, whether you work for someone, you do your own thing, it's going to be it'd be interesting to see what coaches do. I'm always good to learn, and love learning off each other. So it'd be really interesting from this what happens. For sure.
It is. Let's see what the future brings.
Well, that's Mr. Positive right there.
We have to be positive, but we have to be alert. We have to, try to get as much information. And we have to, this is a good moment for us to talk to other coaches and get information from friends and colleagues, and say, okay, how are you handling this situation? I tried this yesterday for the first time that we went on the courts, and didn't work. What did you do? Try to get information and share it, and see if we can all get together to a good path.
And I think that's what will be the interesting part, because obviously, yourself, me, and the rest of the tennis world, we've all been connecting way more since the lockdown, whether it's Zoom calls, phone calls, Facebook, everything. Connection's been key. So almost, if we go back out, then we need to keep carrying a level of that to obviously make it work. So, if we've got connections now, then really, we should help each other and support each other when we're back out on court, rather than just be thrown in the deep end and back to square one, effectively. Yeah,
I think this considering that it's been a sad moment for us because of what's going on. It's been a very productive time for coaches to understand that, okay, there's a lot of information out there that we can use. The ITF Academy website, or information that you can get from lives from Instagram, and people are posting videos on YouTube, or they're just chatting, or Zoom conferences. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and then if we don't use that information in our benefit to increase our level of or our skills as coaches, I think we lost a good opportunity.
Yeah, and that's kind of a lot of on-court stuff, but I know that you've been doing a bit of off-court, like learning Canva. I've been doing different things off-court to actually improve my knowledge of technology effectively. So I think, I think for coaches, it's always like, oh, I like this drill, I can watch this, and it's almost your comfort zone when we're watching drills. It's some kind of relativeness. Even with Facebook, like different things like that, it's like I have no idea. So it's like really using that time to how will this benefit your business and yourself in the future, because we will be in top of markets regardless of anything after COVID. Yeah,
but it's time to learn.
Yep,
it's time to learn for us, and if we use it in a productive way, we can get out of this situation feeling better as coaches. Now I have more skills than before, even though I haven't been working in 50 days, because I know that I get a lot of information. I got connected to coaches like you, like the coordination station team. I've been talking to, for example, last Friday, I was invited to be part of a conference on Zoom, but from Mexican coaches. And now they invited me to do this Friday, tomorrow. I have to do a conference, and I have to speak about my way of working, but it's going to be 1 a.m. here in Spain. Yeah, but I love it.
Doesn't matter, right? That's the thing.
I love it, so I don't mind. I will do it, and I'll be extremely happy, even though I'm going to have to lower my voice. But anyway, and I was watching a conference yesterday, even I think it was 12 at night, from Colombia. And coaches concerned about the way they set up the competitions for the kids. And I see a lot of people really worried about the situation and trying to improve. And that's, in my opinion, that's fantastic.
Yeah, because we should always be worried about our business, which is effectively
always.
Always. And I think more than ever, it's been a relative thing. Okay, well, actually, wow, it is our business now. This is our way of work. It's also our passion for a lot of us, but it's our business. And I think when that gets stripped away from you, your passion and your business, it's double whammy. For a lot of people, work is just work. But for us, it's the double. It's like, I really enjoy going to work, and actually, it's my source of income. So I think that's why it's kind of hit, the tennis coaching world, and probably, PT, the fitness world, football world, in a similar way.
I think this is going to show the difference between the coaches that were just feeding balls, to call it in a way, and the ones that we are very passionate about what we do, and that we care about improving, or not feeling that we have an ego that says, okay, no, I know it all. With the things I know, I can manage. No. I'm 51. I've been coaching for 30 years now. I get information, and I appreciate information every day, because I know that can help me.
Be a sponge. So just keep,
I am.
That's the
absolutely
thing. Keep learning.
Absolutely. In fact, the coordination station team helped me a lot. Philip knows that I love some of the drills that he's been doing with his kids, and I adapt them to my mini tennis sessions, or working with under 10s. I love in the last few years, I've been focusing on the balance of the postures of the players. Not that much, I want them to hit in every position the best way they can, with the best, body control. And watching Sander, the way they work with kids, it's like, listen, I can use this information.
Take this part and take it back to your own.
Even though it's a little drill of just the idea of what they do. Hey, this is making me improve my work. Why can I not use it? I'm going to use it, and I'm going to feel like I'm a better coach now.
And I think as well, we need to almost, I mean, there's the tennis world, but also I've been looking at the fitness world a lot, because they seem to be a lot more ahead with technology and marketing and promotion. For one thing, the fitness industry is really saturated now because everybody's in the same boat, but also it's making everybody, you know, get a higher level of competence. So I think, you know, what I'm doing is looking to see what they're doing and then seeing how I can bring it back to tennis. Because if I bring it back to tennis, that means that I'm hopefully a step ahead, or you've got that new like level of perspective from a different industry. So I think if we can keep learning from, you know, internal within tennis, but external with different, you know, businesses, sports, and ways of thinking.
Right.
There we go.
All right.
So what do you reckon? Should we make this a regular thing? You got to bring a cup of tea next time, though. He's already
I just finished it. Just finished it.
I mean, I'd say there's one thing that is stuck with me, well, for ages, and it's people don't care how much you know. People don't care how much you know until they know you care. And I think that's one thing that, you know, I really think is more relevant than ever. It's all about caring. Nobody cares really what you do anymore. They want to know you care. Are they safe? So all the kids on court, you know, what's your thoughts on that? I think it's just a different way of marketing now, isn't it?
Well, now it's just, think about it. If you consider your job as, okay, I'm going to the club and I'm just feeding balls and I get, you know, a few euros or pounds or dollars out of my session, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Now you don't have the time, the opportunity, not even to go out.
Yeah.
And if you go back to the club after 50 days, 60 days, 2 months, you go to the club and then you feel the same like before. Mm-hmm. Probably this is the way for you to understand, okay, I'm not supposed to be here. Yeah. Because this situation didn't make you change anything. Or say, you know, when I was in the club, I wasn't appreciating that I'm doing something that is actually fun. Yeah. I'm out there with kids or adults. I'm coaching them. We're playing a sport. We're outdoors. Yeah. We're enjoying the game. And I was like, okay, I feed some balls. I do the usual games, and that's it. If you think about now, same way as you were thinking before, just probably have to do some reflection and say, listen, I'm not supposed to be here. Yeah, I think it's definitely it's a reality check for everybody. I mean, you know, we've all connected with family, friends, everybody, and think, you know, if we can use this platform, we got Coordination Station, it'd be great to have, you know, just everybody's input next week. I think if we make this a regular thing, and let's make it raw and relative, because I think there's a lot of content out there, which is great. Use the content, but how are we going to feed it into our lives, you know, when we get out of COVID? So I think that could be a different purpose to this chat, you know, compared to other more technical, tactical, tennis-related chats. So, how's that sound? Good, Martin, and everybody else? Good. Good. So I'm going to love you and leave you all the way in Spain, and everybody else, wherever we are in the world. But it's really cool. There are some people from Argentina here. Yeah, we've got a mix of people, which is amazing. Spain, Mexico, and Argentina, I saw. Awesome. And then we're going to get the other Coordination Station guys on as well, so you get to meet them. You'll know a lot of them anyway if you're in the kids tennis world, but you know, to have their presence here, it'd be really good as well. So thank you everyone for joining, and thank you to Martin. And we will see you guys next week, same time. Yep. All right. Thank you, Andy. Bye. Thank you all. Bye-bye.